Hey, folks, just going to take a quick look at the Qs. It's Shooter, of course, review our disclosures at the end of this presentation. First thing we have here is we're looking at an ABC, the upside. So, we do have some potential downside. Maybe when we put in this C, we could flush again. So, this breakout line, which I haven't marked, is an important marker to get out above. I think that holds until we start seeing some of the data come out of Europe as far as the actual inflation costs. Yeah, that's going to be an important spot for us, though, to get above. So let's look at our extensions. So, looking at this complete cycle loop. Actually, I need to move it down to this one. So upside, I'd be targeting 385 using my primary wave setup. If this was our base here, it is a primary wave setup regardless, even though it's trading that particular leg. So, we'd be looking for 3 to be next. But let's take a look at RSI. We do have some divergence down here. So, Kirk's comment that, hey, that may have been a bottom here, right here. So we have a confirmed low here and a divergent low here and another divergent low here. So, that could be a 3 drive. Let's just bring up a harmonic real quick, see what that says for us. And, we get some decent upside there when we look at our harmonic. So let's throw in our support and resistance where we are, so our resistance is up here at 303, which we're above. Our next resistance level is, just a little bit above that, at this, really the breakout line. And then we pretty much have clear selling, I would think, up to about here where we have a little bit of a back test. I don't know that we get that far. Support is still going to be way down here at 271, which we held pretty decently, this little line here, zone here, zone here. So let's take a look at where our targets would be. Target 1 would be 316.20. Target 2 would be a back test to 305.40. Target 3, I'm going a little conservative. I'm looking at that breakout line saying 329.11. However, it could be, an ABC corrective. So up here. So that would put us up around 354 if that's the case. Now, looking to the upside, I look for equality. So, drawing in a speed line here, just looking at this, going a little more in depth, we can either include this as our base, which we're not anywhere near the base for, or we can exclude that little euphoric flush, which we shouldn't. But from a breakdown standpoint, we seem to be holding this. If we hold that line, it would be consistent with our third drive, maybe out here around 308 or 364.13. Now, if we flush lower, I'd much rather be on this speed line down here right now. I'd rather get one more divergent low over here, which is one reason my speed line's out there. And then we go, because it would be more of a squeeze. I would like a little more. And notice how we're also maintaining a little bit of a top here in where our RSI is going. So, we could come right out to that line on the top side and, bam, then reject and go lower and get our 3. So, it's a little bit of a complex place for us to be, but throwing in actually, I'm going to back both of those out. I'm going to throw something else up there. Let's throw in our Bollinger Bands with fibs just for a second to see where our possible extensions are. So, we're really at the second, we came past the second standard deviation twice on this leg down, so 1, 2, I would think that there's a possibility here, just looking at the bands that, we could have one more push lower on that, 2, I don't see a, I'm going to put this out a little bit just so I can do it so I don't get caught up in the noise from the downside. But, another tag of that speed line would make sense to me, probably somewhere around down here. So, I'm going to say there's probably a second entry down here as a possibility. So in structuring any trade, if you are trying to get long on this, obviously you want to look at that as a consideration of how much you put on or how much you don't put on. So, this is where I draw up my additional spots for entry. So we got a potential third entry down around 207 range, just looking at the Bollinger Band. Typically we don't get more than 3 standard deviations. If you look at the NASDAQ, we're in this tape right here. We tagged the third standard deviation, just shy of it. And this is the closest we've come to the third standard deviation here. So in an acceleration down, now we've sort of wanned, but I think this is an ABC. My question is whether or not it gets up to that 354 at this. That's what I have, folks. Great trading. Until next time.